Hey guys. Okay, today I hope things are going well. I hope your 9-degree stubs are turning out well. Please send me questions, okay? Today we're going to talk about an offset. Sometimes whenever you're going along with a piece of conduit, such as this, you come up to an obstruction. And when you come up to an obstruction, you have to bend the conduit up and get over it. So we're going to talk about how we do that, okay? We're going to be using a 30-degree bend. So I'll give you a couple of different ways. If you've got a level, which I've got right here, that's got a 30-degree bubble, you're good. If you don't, you can still use your bender, and I'll show you how to get it close. You'll have to wall it around a little bit more, but you can get it, okay? So we'll talk about that. Now, Rexel, I got to give them their due. They helped us out tremendously on this. They helped me out all year during the school year. I hope you like your bender. We're going to be talking about how to use this table here called the offset table today. And I really like the Milwaukee bender. I wasn't sure when I heard Milwaukee because I'd never used one, but I really do like this one. It's hard to go wrong with a Milwaukee tool, and I'm not getting anything from them for this, but I've used them for years. This here is a 3/8 drill, Milwaukee drill, that's built to 1/2-inch specifications with a 1/2-inch chuck on it. I bought it in 1982, okay? It has never let me down. I've never had to work on it. It's so old that the cord is cracked. Well, on a lot of drills, you got to take the whole thing apart, put a new cord on. Guess what? Even in 1980, they built this to where you could buy another cord, just plug another one on and go. So, Milwaukee builds great tools, and I just thought I'd pass that along because I know you're like me. When you spend your hard-earned money, you want good tools. You're going to work with your hands, you want good tools. So, there you go. Now, in order to bend and offset, okay, we're going to need trigonometry. You go, what? We're going to take the magic out of trigonometry, okay? I don't like sitting in a classroom doing trig math. I don't like doing it. They got to explain it to me every day because I never remember it. But I'll tell you what, I really like electrical math. If I've got a reason to do math, I can remember it. And with Conduit, and I will send this out. I will send a Conduit PowerPoint out. It will have this table on there, but you also have it on the handle of your bender, okay? And I'm going to explain how to use this. The important point here off that table is for a 30-degree offset, we use what they call the cosecant table. Don't even have to remember that unless you just want to. It'll come in handy if you're doing some really fancy oddball bends. But we call them multipliers. All you got to do is remember a multiplier. Okay, a 45 multiplier is 1.414, a 30 degree is 2, a 15 is 3.86, and a 10 is 6. Now, I've known that my whole life once I learned it, but I don't even care about a cosecant table unless I'm into something else. So anyhow, just remember that we're going to do a 30-degree bend. The first thing we got to do is decide what degree bend. Once we decide what degree bend, then we get that multiplier for that bend. Using a 30-degree bend is like a box offset, except a box offset is 10 degrees bend. This, we're going to use a 30, okay? So for a 30, all we got to remember is multipliers 2. That's real easy, right? Okay, now, we're going to do this in steps. Here's a wall, okay? Here is our obstruction. And we do this in steps. The first thing we do, measure to our obstruction, okay? So, if this is our wall and this is our obstruction, this is our first measurement, okay? So it's 28 inches. 28 inches. Bump it up just a hair. I moved the box a little bit. I want it 28 on the nose. Okay, it's 28 on the nose. Now the problem is, here's how our conduit's running. We came down the wall, we come across, now we got to get over the box. Okay, so 28 inches from the wall, that's the back of this conduit, to this part of the box. Okay? So, the way I measure conduit is I put a 90 up against the wall, or I'll put the conduit up against the wall. And then I go from the wall out. Now, that's 28-inch mark. So we know how far it is from the wall to the edge of the box, right? 28 inches. Now, the second measurement, gonna give you here, okay? Got it in step, real easy. Measure to the top of your obstruction. This box is the obstruction, okay? So, when we measure, the conduit is running level here on this plane. We've got to get to this plane. This plane across the top of the box is parallel to this plane, okay? Now, we're going to measure how high we have to get our conduit to get over the box. 4 inches, okay? So, here's our math. This is all there is to it. You're doing trigonometry. You don't have to call it trigonometry. You're just using a multiplier, okay? So, we are 4 inches high on our box. We have a multiplier of 2. That gives us 8 inches. Okay, 2 fours is 8, right? How easy is that? Okay, so now what we do, these are our bending marks. That's what we're putting on our conduit, the bending marks. So, our 28-inch mark, we are going to go back 8 inches, okay? 8 inches. That's all we do. We measure back 8 inches. Now, I'll put marks all the way around that, okay? That's going to take me a second, guys. Okay? Need another shot of caffeine, right? Okay, I am going to move this out of the way so I can come up so you get a clear view of bending. Okay, now, if you do not have a level with a 30-degree mark on it, you've got a 30-degree mark here, okay? And you can bend it down to where the bottom of your pipe, you can sight it to get to 30 degrees. It's not going to be quite as accurate. You're going to have to work back and forth, but you can do it. Now, what we have to do is we have to face our obstruction. Our conduit was laying on that board like this. We have to take our conduit bender and the hooks out front. So when I'm bending conduit like this, okay, I am looking at it from the back and I got the hook out in front and I'm facing the obstruction. Now, on a box offset, we put the line in front of the hook. Get over here. The line went here. Now what we're using is this mark here, the arrow. we're putting our line at that arrow. Now, I'm using a big marker, okay? Great big marker, not using it on job, I'm using a pencil, right? Now, we're gonna make the bend closest to the box first. So that means this 90 has to be sticking straight up in the air for that to be right, okay? So I'm going to, you gotta look at this, and you gotta get your pool shooting eyes on and get it right. Now, we're gonna bend a 30-degree bend. Now, for a 30-degree bend, we really need something to hang this 90 over, okay? So I'm looking for it, okay? Okay. Now the first thing I have to do is take my level and put it on here, okay? Now, this stool is almost level, but the bubble is hugging the line on this side. So if I put this up here and make the bubble on 30 degrees hang the same side, it's level. So wherever the bubble's at on the floor or on your flat surface, if you're out on a job, you have a bending table, or you're hanging this over the end of a loading dock, hanging it over the end of a staircase, whatever you got to do, because see, the problem is that 90's sticking straight down, right? The 90's sticking straight down. I can't lay it on the floor because it's all cocked up. This part here has to be level, okay, for this to work, okay? So now, I'm going to look up here. I'm going to get the 30 degree. Here's the 30 degree right here, at the top. I'm putting it on here, okay? Now, I need a little more. Now this stuff bends like butter, okay? So, I've been a little bit too much there. So, let me show you how to take it out of there. If you take it, and I don't have to take much out, okay? Just turn it straight over. See, it was in there like this. So, if you turn it over like this, okay, and line it up, and then put your foot in front of the handle, put your knee there, and pull just a hair, it'll straighten it out. Now let's see where we're at with that 30 degree bend. Our next bend is going to be so much easier. Okay, I need just a hair more. So it bends like butter. But also, every time, check it to make sure you're level here. And I am. Wrong way. Okay. Okay, I need just a hair more, just a hair, just a touch, just a touch. Okay? Because I'll tell you what, the closer you get to level, the better off you are. Okay? I need just a hair more, just a hair. Just a hair more. Boy, I'm walking it in there. This time here I'll get it. So you just gotta get it back and forth. The more you do it, the better off it is. There it is, dead on. Okay, I did it 2 more extra times to get it dead on. It is dead in the center of that bubble. It's dead in the center of the bubble here. So I know I got a dead on 30-degree bend. Very important. Okay, now, let's say you bent this like this. That's the way you've made your first bend. Here's the box. Here's the wall. We're facing like this, okay? Now, do not take it out of the bender. Raise it up, push it forward, and turn it over 180. And then line the line up, okay, with your arrow. I was a little bit off there, okay? Got a big old wide line. Now what we have to do is line it up so we don't get a dog leg, okay? This one here is a little easier to line up, okay? All right? Okay, looks pretty good. Now, I'm gonna pull it down, all right? Because if we put this on the floor, I want to show you, okay? If we put this on the floor, we gotta bend it enough so that this doesn't hit, okay? Now this gets so stinking easy. We got the hard part over. Hard part's over. What's plus 30 and minus 30? It's the same as plus 10 and minus 10, 0, right? So if this part of the conduit's flat on the floor and you put your level here and you got a good 30 degrees there, when we get if that's a plus 30, that's a minus 30, that's going to be dead on flat level, right? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do now is pull that up and I can see the level in the top. Now, one thing I didn't do. What did I not do? I didn't check the floor. Check the floor. Okay, the floor right here, the bubble's hugging the back line. I'm going to make this other bubble hug the back line. It's going to be perfect. Okay, spring back, you gotta watch it. You gotta let off on your bender. Oh, that's close. Perfect, perfect. Now, we're gonna pull our workbench back over. Now, we got to check for a dog leg. Okay? Now, right here, I was talking, got a little dog leg. See that line underneath there? I can take, and I bet I can almost slide that under. Can't slide that under. But take my word for it. Now, if we turn it over on that flat, see this end cocked up? See that end cocked up? Got a little dog leg. So this end's cocked up, no big deal. I'm going to show you how to take it out of there. Since this end's cocked up, I take it right over here and I put it, the very end of it, because that's the one that's bent. I get this at a 9 degrees and I'm just going to bend it a little bit, okay? I bend it a little bit too much because it bends like butter. And if I'm out there on the job, by lunch you got it dead on, okay? I'm really, really close with that. Just a hair more. Just a hair more. Perfect. Okay, about perfect as EMT gets. Okay, now the next thing we've got to do is see if we were high enough. Okay? So, when we put it over here, I see, first off, let's double check. Okay, that's level. That's level, but it doesn't quite get to the top of the box. So, during all my talking and everything, I was a little bit off. Now, this is really easy. Now all we got to do is put a little more here, since we're level here, and we're level here, but we're not quite on top of that box. All we do is barely put a little more bin here, barely put a little more bin here, and walk it up, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Once you get this far, hard work's over. Hard work's over. Okay, now all you do is just lean against it a little bit. We don't need much. Okay. Fill it in a little bit. Okay, didn't get quite on that second bend. See what we got here. Okay, now it is almost perfect. Had about 1/8 of an inch on top of that box. All I had to do was just breathe on that. Okay, perfect. Pull too much out of it. It bends like butter, guys. But a little bit more. Just a hair. Okay, I'm getting this perfect like if I was on a job, guys. I'd be doing the same thing. I'm not doing anything different than, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. How many times did I adjust that? 4 or 5? But guess what? Now, after 4 or 5 times of adjusting it, it is level here, okay? It is level here. It is. And it's right against the top of the box. Right against the top of the box. This is back here. You got a good 90 here. You got a good 4-inch offset here. And it's level on top of the box, okay? It's touching all along here. Good box offset. But we got a problem. You thought we were there, didn't you? Whenever you make an offset, whenever you make an offset, okay, a funny thing happens. I'm getting ready to show you. Let me get a clamp. Well, I pulled my 90 off a little bit. Let me get that 90 right because it's aggravating. Just pull a hair out of it because I've bent it. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, now, you see this hump here? We measured, here's a piece of Romex. I'm just using it for an example. We measured from the wall to the edge of the box. Now I'm going to over-exaggerate what happened. Here's the mark where my finger's at. Here's the other one. Okay, watch we're against the wall. We're against the wall. Watch what happens to this finger. Now I know I bent too much, but this finger backed off of this box. Okay? If you look here, this line is no longer lined up with this box. That line is 1 inch back this way. To bend good conduit and make it look good, this is called the knee of the bend, okay? I want that knee right where we lined it up to start at the edge of the box. So we have a slide factor for that. And it's the same for every degree of bend we use for that degree of bend. It's different for a different degree of bend. A 45 different than a 30, different than a 15, different than a 10. But for a 45, and it's on your handle, okay, get your handle. And look here where it says offset table. And turn it around. It says strength per inch of offset depth, or we call that inches of rise. If we go down here to 30 degrees, multiplier of 2, and a strength of a 1/4 inch per inch of rise. 1/4 inch per inch of rise. Now this is so stinking easy. We're taking the magic out of it, okay? How tall did we say this was? 4 inches, right? So our shrink for a 30-degree offset is a 1/4 inch. In other words, this mark comes back this way, a 1/4 inch for every inch we go up. So we went up 4 inches. What's 4 times a 1/4? 1 inch, right? How far back did we say that came? 1 inch, okay? Now, I'm getting ready to do another offset just like this, real quick. You can watch me do it again. But we're gonna move that mark and we're gonna take strength into account. Okay? So, I'm still on my first piece of conduit, guys. So if you're wondering how many I've gone through, I have not bent anything that you haven't seen on these videos. Now, we're going to put this up here so you can see it, okay? All right, now, if we're marking this conduit, you can either lay it down here and mark it, or you can measure it. So if you're measuring from the wall to the box, we get 28 inches, okay? So, 28 inches. Now, here's all you do with strength. You know by that table here and on your bender, it's a 1/4 inch per inch of rise. Our inch of rise for our offset is 4 inches. The box is 4 inches high. So 4 times 1/4 is an inch. We take and we're gonna add, because see, we gotta back that bend up closer to the box, because see, we come off that box, we wanna come down. We don't wanna go way out here and go down. It doesn't look good. I'm getting ready to show you the difference. We add 1 inch, okay? So, now, our first bending mark, we're going to call it our A mark. Got a little A there. Is 29 inches. Now, once we do that, we forget about shrink. But we use our A mark. If you remember, our multiplier for 30 degrees is 2. So, 2 times 4 inches is 8. So from our 29-inch mark, which is our A mark, we go back 8 inches, okay? Go back 8 inches, that's all we do. And we're gonna call that our B mark. All right? Now we did everything the same except we moved the A mark forward 1 inch to get the knee of this bin closer to the box, okay? So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bend. Now I'm going to move this back again. I know it takes a second, but I want you all to see it. Okay, now we hold it up like that with the 90 sticking straight up. We're going to face our obstruction with our 90 back here. We're standing back here, we're facing the box, right? We're going to line our 29-inch mark up with our arrow, and I am lining the 90-degree up with the handle, okay? So you got to put your pull eye on there, all right? Go back and forth, go left, right. You can do it like this too, but I find it easier to do it like this once I line the mark up. And we don't get it lined up exactly right, we're going to have dog leg, right? Do you work now or do you work later? So we need a 30 degree. So I'm looking here, I'm getting close to a 30. Now we're going to go back to this table. And let me grab my level. Line this up again. Okay. Now, make sure we're level here. We are. And turn that around there. Okay, I need just a little bit more. Dead on. Now, really important. Do not take it out of your bender. Pull it up, slide it forward. Line the mark up with your arrow, okay? Line this up so you don't have a dog leg. Just a little bit more. Well, daggone it. That's it. Okay, so now I'm going to bend it so that I can get it down on the floor, okay? And I'm going to put it on there like that and bend it up until that bubble is halfway. Okay, there you are. Okay, now let me get this over here. I got a little dog leg in it. I just feel like I do. But guys, I've been Conduit twice a year. I guarantee you, if we were out there together bending Conduit pretty quick, we'd have it figured out. Now, remove that. I'm going to check my dog leg first, okay? Wow, that's pretty close. Now, a little bit right here, okay? You can do that with it. A little bit out of it. That's pretty doggone close. Now, what we want to do, wow. That is like so stinking close, guys. Wow. Okay, now, where'd they go? Now, there it is. Now, Make sure the box didn't slide. Okay. There it is, 28 inches. See where our line's at, guys? Okay, now we're going to put this other one on there. I want you to see how much better it looks. Now, if you notice this here, on the one that we didn't add shrink to, it's way back here, okay? But this bend here, okay, it's just so much nicer. You can see it sticking up above here. So when we add shrink, and I can show you to even get that pull closer the next time, okay? But right now, this is what we want to do. Find something in your garage, find a box, I don't care what it is, just something square. A toolbox. A toolbox is great to go over. Let me show you, okay? Instead of this, use a toolbox. Just set it on the garage floor, okay? Have this go up against the wall, or you don't even need a 90 on it. It'd be easier on you if you don't use a 90 to begin with. I just did this to save conduit. This is what I've got left over off that first stick, okay? I know you've been doing more work than me, but I've got 4 sticks still laying right there, okay? I didn't get any more than you got. So, I know you're learning, I know you're burning through some more conduit, but there ain't no reason. It's pretty cheap by the stick, so if you need another stick or two, give them a call down there and they'll make you a deal on it. But, find you something square to go over. Do a 30 to make the math easy, okay? Then once you do a 30, you need something taller than 4 inches. You really need something more like this toolbox, because if you make a 45-degree offset, and a 45 will have 45, 45, this needs to be a minimum of 6.5 to 7 inches tall, because it'll keep your bender, you'll start getting your bends too close and taking your bend out of the first bend when you're making your second bend. Can't do that. So, anyhow, excuse me. I want to see pictures of this, guys. That's the only way I got to grade you. I want to see pictures. I'm going to be shooting you a PowerPoint, and it'll be on Conduit. It'll explain some of this and some other stuff. But I want to see 2 good offsets. When I say a good offset, it is up against your wall or your obstruction. Your obstructions out here, I want all this laying on the floor. I want all this laying on top of your obstruction. I don't want to see it cocked up, don't want to see it cocked that way. I want to see it flat here, and if you do a 90, I want to see it flat there. If you look at these bends, even though I didn't add shrink here, it's still a good offset. That 90, and I showed you with a square, this is a good 90 for my fake wall. This is level, this conduit's up against there so we can strap it. This conduit's down against here, we can strap it. This conduit's here, we can strap it. And guess what? If you're out there running conduit like this, and you're running conduit here, people's gonna be stepping on it. So if you don't get it down against the top of that obstruction, they're going to be bending it and breaking it, and it's going to look like crap. You get it down against the top of this obstruction, strap it in, it ain't going nowhere. They can step on it until the cows come home. So anyhow, send me questions. I miss having you guys in class, you know, it's just so much better. But anyhow, we'll get through this, and send me questions, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Hope you and your family stay well.